Good evening, guys. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. This video is shot 10th August 2020. In this, I am going to be deliberating my opinion about direct and indirect acquisition which is happening in India nowadays. Acquisition or merger and acquisition means whenever a big company is willing to buy a small company, or a big company is buying a big company because there are some issues. Example, if we speak few acquisitions which are currently in the limelight, like Microsoft is planning to acquire the US, India, and European operations of TikTok. There are talks going that Twitter is also in talk with TikTok about the US operations. If we talk from an Indian angle, Reliance is in touch with Future Group regarding the buyout of the Future Group. Whether all the three would happen or not, only the time will tell, but all three are in the public domain. That is why we got an example. This is known as direct acquisition. When the buyer is directly in touch with the seller and all information of this such kind of transactions will come in public domain. So I'm just hypothetically quoting an example, assuming tomorrow Google will also come, assuming, and Google will say we are interested in buying TikTok for a while. And in that is also direct acquisition, because Google is coming in public domain and saying that we wanted to acquire TikTok. Whether this deal would happen or not, we really do not know. Okay. But one thing is known as indirect acquisition. There are multiple legal ways through which the indirect acquisition can possible, and specifically in the countries like India, whereby due to COVID-19, the mess has just aggregated before all levels. And today, on 10th August 2020, we got three different information about that indirect acquisition. Now, I would like to first highlight the first kind of indirect acquisition. Indian companies needs funds, which they do not have. That is also reality, including banks. In fact, if we go to Google and check, we will get to know that effective March 2020, almost all Indian banks raised capital from the market. Whether they are public sector banks or they are private sector bank, it really doesn't make any difference as far as this fact and figures is concerned, right? On the contrary, if you look at the NBFC, which is non-banking financial corporation, we will get to know that almost all non-banking financial corporation tried raising the money from the banks. And they also raised money from an indirect angle, which is known as right issues, or also known as non-convertible debentures, or sometimes also via private placement. It's an unfortunate fact that such kind of data in a very delicate way is not available in the market. Like company by company, it is pretty difficult to get this data. Now, what happened whenever in a form of private placement or non-convertible debenture the funding happens, the HNIs, the high net worth individuals, comes on the board of these companies, and they try and control that. History is witness that whenever a venture capitalist came on your board, or HNI, high net worth individual, came on your board, what happened? The memory of people are very short. That is also a fact, and we also understand that what had happened with the Cafe Coffee Day. When the founder wrote a letter in which he specifically mentioned the name of two private equity players, but thanks to India, nothing happened. More or less, this is the scene with all NBFCs, those who are raising the money. Unfortunately, the scene, I'm not quoting specific name, but we all understand what is going on. Alternatively speaking, the banks lended money to various companies. And we all understand that COVID-19 situation is relatively very tough. In fact, it is getting tougher after every passing day. And since it is getting tougher after every passing day, the companies are finding it difficult to honor their transactions. Like, if I'm not wrong, last week one of the Reliance companies by Mr. Anil Ambani, it also defaulted, and two schemes of Franklin Mutual Fund again came into the picture, in which one of the schemes is already asked to shut down out of the total six, and one is not that. We're going to have specific video in that regards. But today we got two information. Hinduja Liand, you know that Hinduja's owned Ashok Liand, everyone understand that, and they are having a big business empire. Hinduja's Liand Finance in talks to raise around $100 million. $100 million at the current price is around 750 crores. Let me give an example. Hinduja's Liand Finance, the captive financing arm of commercial vehicle maker Ashok Liand, is in talk with the potential investors to raise 100 million in primary equity. Two people aware of the development said, request anonymity. Anonymity means they don't want their name to come in public domain. Hindustan Liand appointed EY as a sell-side advisor for this transaction, which will see it divesting between 15 to 20% of stake to an incoming investor. Don't go on my laugh, because we're going to have a dedicated video on the Wirecard soon. And I'm sure majority of the people, those who are watching this video, they even do not know what had happened with the Wirecard. Guys, it's a big accounting fraud that happened in Germany, and the company name is Wirecard. If you get some time, you just go to Google and type Wirecard accounting scandal. You will get hell lot of information. We are planning a very deep video about Wirecard. We are just waiting for the final confirmation of an information, which we will get this week. As soon as we will get this information, we will release a very good video about Wirecard. In fact, just take another some time, that Wirecard scandal raised a very serious concern in the world of accounting, as well as the world of corporate governance, that should we audit the auditors. Thanks to Indian media, we even do not know W of Wirecard. Okay, coming back to the topic. Incorporated in 2008, Hinduja Liand commenced operations in 2010 as a non-banking financial corporation. It was made a captive financer by Hindustan Group flagship Ashok Liand, and so on and so forth. All these information is there in the public domain. In short, the non-banking financial corporation of Hinduja Group, which is they also own Ashok Liand, is in talk to raise around $100 million, and they are looking to divest around 15 to 20% stake to get that. 15 to 20% is a big number, guy. It's a big number. It means 20% means around 1/5 control of the company. That is quite big. So that is the scene. What about indirect acquisition? Private sector IndusInd Bank on Saturday said that it has acquired 7.82% stake in battery maker Everyday Industries by invoking pledged shares following loan default. The bank invoked pledged shares on around 56 lakh pledged share, formerly 7.82% paid off capital of the Everyday Industries. I'm really not asking whether this end up on the share price of Everyday or not. If you go to various websites, we have Money Control and all, you just check and see whether this information had any impact on the Everyday share price. Around 8% stake has been invoked by a bank. The question is, should we go long Everyday or should we wait? That is the question. But my story not yet ended. Rather, one more. ICICI Bank has taken possession of a corporate office of Mantri Developers in Bangalore, Vittal Malia Road, following non-payment of dues. The bank has taken possession of the Mantri House, spread across around 30,000 square feet of build-up area under the Securitization and Reconstruction of the Financial Assets and Enforcement of Securities Interest Act, and so on and so forth. ICICI Bank has issued a demand notice last November to the borrower Shore Dwelling Private Limited, formerly known as Mantri Dweller, to repay around 53 crores within 60 days. And maybe they were not been able to pay, that is why they took the possession of this office. In fact, one of the offices of, I hope you are getting, Nariman Point, right? So guys, we need to understand one thing very clearly. Acquisition is not always direct. It is not like that Reliance is asking Future Group, or maybe Microsoft is asking TikTok, or maybe some big company is asking some another company. We are living in a time which I, in my parlance, say that the formal acquisitions, I always term this as the formal acquisitions. We are living in a time when the formal acquisitions are limited, very, very limited. In fact, once in 1 month, the formal acquisition happens. While the informal acquisitions, like this, which is IndusInd Bank pledged the share, ICICI taken the possession, last month somebody taken somebody's office at Nariman Point, all these indirect acquisitions are, or informal acquisitions are going at a faster pace. This definitely have an impact on the stock price. Maybe immediate, might not be immediate. So a right investor is a person who look at all these information, take a holistic look, sit with a cool mind and see that if such and such indirect acquisitions is happening, how the scene is. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting. You know our WhatsApp 9818485155. Our hedge fund desk continue to look at all information and try and having a holistic look of exactly what is happening. And if we feel that we always take an appropriate change in our portfolio, because these formal acquisitions or informal acquisitions, they always having an impact not only on that stock price of that seller, but also on the stock price of the buyer. But once again, patience, timing and research, these are three important fundamentals in stock market. And unfortunately, people do not have any respect for patience, timing and research. Have a great time and talk soon.